Driving in America can be unpredictable, but in some cities, getting behind the wheel feels more like a gamble with your safety. From constant speeding and red light runners to sky-high accident rates, these places have earned a reputation for having the most reckless drivers in the country. In this video, we'll break down the top 10 US cities with the most reckless drivers, looking at the number of incidents, why the roads are so dangerous, and what makes these areas stand out from the rest. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest breakdowns on the best and sometimes worst places to live and drive in America. Now let's hit the road and see which cities made the list. Number 10, Tulsa, Oklahoma. It has developed a reputation as one of the most dangerous cities for drivers, with averages showing dozens of fatal crashes every year and thousands of collisions causing injuries. Data indicates that while alcohol-related accidents make up only around 4 to 5% of total crashes, they account for more than a quarter of all deadly collisions, showing how disproportionately dangerous impaired driving is in the city. In a single year, police typically respond to well over 1,400 crashes involving injuries or fatalities within Tulsa city limits, with more than 80 lives lost and nearly 2,000 people hurt. On top of this, speeding continues to be a major contributor, with over 1,600 speeding-related crashes reported in Tulsa County alone, making it the worst in the state for speed-related accidents. The problem isn't just reckless driving, it's also the road environment. Studies show that drivers in Tulsa lose an estimated $2,400 or more every year because of poor road conditions, congestion delays, and crash-related expenses. Tailgating, distracted driving, and a general lack of enforcement add to the chaos on the roads, while pedestrian deaths remain a rising concern. With such a dangerous mix of driver behavior and infrastructure problems, Tulsa stands out as one of the riskiest places to get behind the wheel in America. Number 9, Columbia, South Carolina. It consistently ranks among the most accident-prone U.S. cities, especially when it comes to pedestrian safety. In a recent urban planning study by Smart Growth America, Columbia was listed among the top 15 deadliest metro areas for pedestrians nationwide, with approximately 3.46 pedestrian deaths per 100,000 residents, one of the highest rates in the country. Traffic crashes are also a serious concern. Richland County, which encompasses Columbia, sees around 18,600 crashes annually, resulting in 4,500 injuries. Aggressive driving behaviors like speeding, tailgating, and reckless passing contribute significantly, with more than 4,600 speeding-related accidents each year recorded across the county. Infrastructure challenges and urban expansion add fuel to Columbia's road safety issues. The city lies at the crossroads of major interstates, I-20, I-26, and I-77, creating high traffic volumes and congestion, especially during rush hours and large events. Congestion, aging roads, and limited pedestrian safe zones exacerbate the risks. Residents lose an average of 43 hours per year sitting in traffic, costing around $42 per driver in time and fuel. On the ground, local anecdotes reinforce the danger. Drivers commonly report red light running, lack of turn signal use, and speeding even in school zones. For those navigating Columbia's roads, vigilance and defensive driving aren't just smart, they're essential. Number 8, St. Louis, Missouri. It has developed a reputation for being one of the most dangerous driving environments in America, with consistently high rates of reckless driving, crashes, and fatalities. On average, the city and county combined see nearly 15,000 traffic-related injury cases each year, with over 170 resulting in fatalities. With a population of about 300, Louis reports around 15,000 crashes annually, including more than 60 fatal collisions, which equates to about 23 deaths per 100,000 residents. Nearly double the national average. Speeding alone accounts for more than 1,500 accidents, while distracted driving contributes to nearly 1,000. Aggressive driving is another major factor, with excessive speeding and unsafe maneuvers responsible for a large portion of fatal wrecks. These statistics paint a clear picture. Drivers in St. Louis take risks that too often end in devastating outcomes. Equally troubling is the state of pedestrian safety across the city. St. Louis regularly records more than 20 pedestrian deaths annually, with pedestrian fatalities in both the city and county climbing sharply over the last decade. Studies show that nearly 95% of these deaths occur on roads posted at 35 mi, while 84% happen mid-block outside of designated crosswalk. A few key arterials like Grand, Kings Highway, and Broadway are responsible for a disproportionately high number of these deadly incidents, highlighting both dangerous road design and reckless driver behavior. With rising pedestrian deaths and persistently high crash totals, St. Louis has become a city where both driving and walking carry serious risks, making it one of the most reckless driving hotspots in the nation. Number 7. Phoenix, Arizona. It has earned a troubling reputation as one of the most dangerous driving environments in the U.S. The city records tens of thousands of crashes each year, with over 300 traffic deaths annually, placing it well above the national average for fatalities per capita. Researchers estimate a fatality rate of about 13 deaths per 100,000 residents, making Phoenix more dangerous on the road than many larger U.S. cities. DUI arrests remain alarmingly high, with Phoenix ranking among the top cities in America for alcohol-related crashes. Speeding plays a massive role here too, accounting for 1 in 5 collisions across the metro area. Combined with distracted driving, Phoenix drivers face an environment where reckless habits translate directly into real measurable danger. But it isn't just drivers who are at risk. Pedestrians in Phoenix experience some of the deadliest conditions in the country. Wide, high-speed streets that cut through residential and commercial areas make crossing on foot especially hazardous. In fact, Phoenix has the highest pedestrian fatality rate among large U.S. cities, surpassing Los Angeles and Dallas, despite having fewer residents. Critics point to limited traffic enforcement and roadway designs that encourage drivers to go 20-30 miles over the speed limit as major factors fueling these statistics. All of this paints a clear picture. Behind its sunshine and booming growth, Phoenix is a hotspot for reckless driving, with both motorists and pedestrians paying the price. Number 6. Jackson, Mississippi. It consistently ranks among the most dangerous U.S. cities to drive in, with reckless driving being a major concern for residents and travelers alike. On average, the city reports over 8,000 crashes annually, resulting in nearly 70-90 fatalities and thousands of injuries. Jackson also records one of the highest rates of DUI-related arrests per capita in the South, a reflection of how impaired driving continues to plague its roads. Speeding is another critical factor. Mississippi as a whole leads the nation in speeding-related deaths, and Jackson contributes heavily to that statistic. With long stretches of poorly lit highways and a lack of consistent law enforcement presence, drivers often take risks that result in deadly consequences. Pedestrian safety is equally troubling in Jackson, with several corridors considered high-risk zones due to poor sidewalks, limited crosswalks, and fast-moving traffic. Studies show that the city's fatal crash rate is nearly double the national average, making Jackson one of the riskiest places in the U.S. to be behind the wheel, or even just crossing the street. A combination of aging infrastructure, reckless driving culture, and insufficient investment in traffic safety measures has only intensified these dangers. For many, Jackson's roads symbolize not just a daily commute, but a constant gamble with safety. Number 5. Louisville, Kentucky. It has earned a reputation as one of the most dangerous cities to drive in, with reckless driving contributing to thousands of accidents every year. Data shows the city sees over 14,000 reported crashes annually, resulting in 120 traffic fatalities and thousands of serious injuries. Louisville also ranks among the worst in the nation for DUI-related incidents, with police making thousands of drunk driving arrests each year, highlighting how impaired driving is a constant threat on its roads. Speeding, red light running, and aggressive lane changes are frequently cited as major causes of accidents across the city, particularly along busy corridors like Dixie Highway, one of the most dangerous stretches in Kentucky. Pedestrian and cyclist safety in Louisville is another growing concern. The city's pedestrian fatality rate is well above the national average, with many high-traffic intersections and suburban roadways lacking safe crosswalks or adequate lighting. Dangerous driving behaviors, combined with aging infrastructure, make the roads risky not just for drivers, but for anyone trying to navigate the city on foot or by bike. Louisville's reckless driving problem is not just about numbers, it's about a culture of risk-taking behind the wheel that has turned everyday commutes into hazardous journeys. Number 4. Houston, Texas. It consistently ranks as one of the most dangerous cities for drivers in America, with an astonishingly high number of crashes each year. Reports indicate well over 60,000 motor vehicle accidents occur annually in the Houston metro area, resulting in 500 to 700 traffic-related deaths and tens of thousands of injuries. One of the biggest contributors is Houston's massive network of freeways, including the I-45, which has been dubbed one of the deadliest highways in the country due to its mix of high speeds, congestion, and reckless driving behavior. DUI arrests in Houston also number in the tens of thousands, making impaired driving one of the city's most persistent dangers. Beyond sheer crash volume, Houston struggles with pedestrian and cyclist safety at alarming levels. The city records hundreds of pedestrian fatalities and thousands of injuries every year, placing it among the worst large cities in the nation for pedestrian safety. Aggressive drivers, distracted driving from smartphones, and a car-centric infrastructure contribute to this troubling trend. For residents, this means navigating Houston's roads requires constant vigilance, as reckless driving has become a public safety crisis that impacts commuters, families, and neighborhoods across the region. Number 3, Memphis, Tennessee. It has earned a troubling reputation as one of the most dangerous cities for drivers in the U.S., with tens of thousands of car accidents taking place every year. Among these, a significant number result in fatalities, as the city consistently records over 200 traffic-related deaths annually, placing it near the top in the nation for roadway fatalities per capita. Memphis also struggles with impaired driving. Law enforcement logs thousands of DUI arrests each year, making alcohol and drug-related crashes a persistent problem. High-traffic routes like Interstate 240 and Interstate 40 are hotspots for collisions, where speeding, reckless lane changes, and tailgating are all too common. Beyond just the numbers, Memphis faces unique challenges that make its roads especially hazardous. Distracted driving continues to rise, with countless accidents linked to phone use and inattention behind the wheel. Pedestrians and cyclists are particularly vulnerable, as the city reports dozens of pedestrian fatalities and hundreds of injuries every year. Poor road infrastructure, combined with aggressive driving habits, creates an environment where even cautious drivers face elevated risk. Memphis also experiences heavy freight traffic due to its role as a transportation hub, adding large trucks into an already volatile mix of reckless drivers and congested roadways. This dangerous combination makes Memphis one of the deadliest cities to drive in, not only for motorists but also for those on foot or bicycle. The statistics paint a sobering picture, whether it's speeding, DUIs, distracted driving, or simply unsafe infrastructure. Every factor contributes to Memphis's high crash and fatality rate. For residents and visitors alike, staying alert and driving defensively isn't just a suggestion, it's a necessity for survival on Memphis's notoriously unsafe streets. Number 2, New Orleans, Louisiana. It is not only famous for its vibrant culture and nightlife, but unfortunately it also has one of the highest rates of reckless driving incidents in the United States. The city records tens of thousands of crashes annually, with a significant share involving fatalities. Each year, New Orleans sees well over 150 traffic-related deaths, making it one of the deadliest metro areas to drive in per capita. Impaired driving is a particularly serious concern. Local police report thousands of DUI arrests, especially tied to the city's nightlife districts like Bourbon Street and its frequent festivals, where alcohol consumption is widespread. Major highways like Interstate 10 and US Route 90 see some of the worst crash rates due to high-speed drivers weaving in and out of traffic and ignoring road safety laws. The challenges in New Orleans extend beyond alcohol-related crashes. Distracted driving, particularly phone use, continues to rise as a leading cause of accidents. The city also struggles with pedestrian safety, consistently reporting dozens of pedestrian fatalities and hundreds of injuries each year. Narrow roads, outdated infrastructure, and congested intersections contribute to the problem, creating a dangerous environment for both drivers and walkers. The city's frequent heavy rains and flooding make conditions even worse, as slick roads and poor visibility lead to spikes in collisions during storms. Add to that the high volume of tourists unfamiliar with the roads, and you have a recipe for frequent dangerous crashes. When all these factors combine, impaired driving, distracted motorists, poor road infrastructure, dangerous weather conditions, and high tourist traffic, New Orleans becomes one of the riskiest cities in America to get behind the wheel. For residents and visitors alike, caution and defensive driving aren't just good practices, they're vital for navigating the city's notoriously unsafe roads. Number 1, Albuquerque, New Mexico, consistently ranks among the most dangerous U.S. cities to drive in due to its alarmingly high number of reckless driving incidents. Each year, the city sees over 40,000 crashes, with hundreds of fatalities and thousands of serious injuries reported on its road. Impaired driving is a major problem here. Law enforcement regularly makes more than 6,000 DUI arrests annually, which places Albuquerque near the top nationally for drunk driving-related offenses per capita. Highways like I-25 and I-40, which intersect through the city, are notorious hotspots for speeding, aggressive lane changes, and high-impact crashes. Combined with the city's elevated rate of uninsured drivers, this creates especially dangerous conditions for everyone on the road. Pedestrian and cyclist safety is another major issue in Albuquerque. The city frequently reports dozens of pedestrian deaths and hundreds of injuries every year, giving it one of the highest pedestrian fatality rates in the country. Distracted driving, particularly cell phone use, adds to the problem, with local officials attributing a growing number of crashes to texting behind the wheel. Albuquerque's road infrastructure also struggles to keep up with traffic demands, with poorly lit intersections, wide arterial roads, and long pedestrian crossings all contributing to higher risks for non-drivers. What makes Albuquerque particularly dangerous is the mix of factors that overlap: a high rate of DUIs, aggressive drivers, distracted motorists, vulnerable road users, and inadequate infrastructure. Add in the city's fast-growing population and heavy commuter traffic, and it's no surprise that driving here feels hazardous on a daily basis. For both residents and visitors, navigating Albuquerque requires extra vigilance, as the chances of encountering reckless driving are much higher than in most U.S. cities. Conclusion, and there you have it, the top 10 U.S. cities with the most reckless driving. From Houston's chaotic highways to Albuquerque's alarming DUI problem, each of these cities shows just how dangerous the roads can be when speeding, impaired driving, and poor infrastructure collide. These aren't just statistics, they represent real lives lost and families forever impacted by preventable accidents. But here's the important takeaway: knowing which cities are the most dangerous can help you drive smarter and safer when you're there. Whether you're a local or just passing through, being more cautious, avoiding distractions, and respecting traffic laws could literally save your life. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our breakdowns of America's most important places and issues. And let me know in the comments, which city do you think has the craziest driver? Have you experienced reckless driving firsthand where you live? Thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next video.